Video games are big money machines. Not only there are world championships for teams representing countries to compete for big checks, but combine that with a movie marketing strategy and you're turning an entertainment full circle chain in a transmedia product. Because if you have the strategy, a community, the theme, the characters, a physical merchandise and a deal for a movie production, your strategy is ready and it will make an impact. We're going to see some of those aspects with the top games with amazing 3D animation movies that raise the bar for either technical, artistic or licensing achievements. Some well-known characters have stood the test of time and refreshing their story arcs, while others, being classical heroes, are reinventing themselves with whole new possibilities on the world of entertainment. So let's start. KDA is the name of the short movie animation created for League of Legends' new character Skin, featuring vivid colors, K-pop music, snappy lyrics, and a feel of 80s retro neon color palette. Their marketing strategy to keep the game alive is to renew the characters' stories and custom skins with awesome 3D animation. Saronis, senior character artist at Riot Games, designed the costumes for the K-pop animated video, which grew by a million views every week. The KDA video was produced by a French animation company called Fortige. Some of the eye-catching scenes in the video happen in the subway ride sequence where we can see Evelyn surrounding a Callie while she's wearing a talking mask. If you pay close attention, the mask even performs speech using a tongue. The laundry scene where Ahiri floats surely represents the leaving behind their former costumes to launch themselves into a new team using their abilities. Motion capture technology was used at the World Cup opening to match the performance of the KDA group characters onto a live stage. Honkai Third Impact is a game originally from China aimed at the top performance tablets. It's an RPG type strategy game combined with beat-them-up combos to defeat enemies using power-up weapons and armors. The artistic achievement in their viral marketing movies take full advantage of 3D animation with very dynamic cameras and sequences. Once a mission or story arc is completed, in-game cinematics are a feast to the eye. But they also set these animated movies so that people who don't know the game can get the chance to play as one of these characters. These scenes are composited by layering passes and they use After Effects even for such minor details as animating hair strands. Honkai Third Impact is such a good example to set the mood and the tone for the story by driving the cameras dynamically around the scene, giving you a sense of depth even if we are watching it behind a flat monitor. And is in this principle I'll be presenting the rest of the cases for the movie production based off a video game, since the player is already accustomed to be dynamically involved in such action cuts from the game cinematic scenes themselves. On this scene we clearly see tension develop between the characters, no longer animated by 3s or 2s, but creating a detailed movement for sensible visual cues, once again making you part of the action by relieving depth from the character's point of view, animated each frame. Most of the line details are directly drawn into the frame. Since the cuts are short, this is nothing that studios cannot handle. They normally work on hundreds of drawings by hand, so what's a little help by doing it over an existing image? The result, pure gold. miHoYo Anime is the company that produces the Honkai Third Impact movies. Following the trend of classic series, Dragon Ball FighterZ is a video game created by Arc System Works, the company who brought you Guilty Gear XXR. Currently they are working on a new title with the same 2D anime look called Grand Blue Fantasy for the PS4, and just this last quarter of the year they released an early preview of the Kill la Kill video game spin-off from the series by Studio Trigger. Dragon Ball Z brilliantly created a new story arc last year where Goku awakened the Ultra Sense. Fans were eager to see this in the game, and it also delivered a new villain called Android 21. We see all familiar faces and appreciate all the artwork, even smear frames that were created using 3D animation. Now, before going into the real stuff behind the marketing strategies from games to movies, let's recall some of the honorable mentions in that category. Monster Strike is a very popular and successful video game for tablets and high-end phones, whose original animated series have been awarded in Japan with innovation for the 3D animation industry. Their shaders are really wonderful to admire. Some of the animated scenes are clean motion capture data with physics applied to the hair. Chapters are 10 minutes long for Season 4. They publish on YouTube every Saturday morning, reaching many thousand viewers. If you haven't seen Monster Strike by Studio X Flag, go check it out on their official channel. Another honorable mention is for Netflix The Dragon Prince. Not that this is a video game franchise, but it is a very appreciated visual product for streaming services. Season 1 was launched on November and will surely continue for a second season. The characters are well constructed, and I gotta say I was amazed for the quality of the show altogether regarding NPR animation. Last but not least, Sunder is a story produced in Unity 3D game engine. The result is something to delight on. A very simple story about a man who wants to keep the love of his life by protecting a little blue plant. Here again, we see the camera work excel on giving depth to struggling scenes. Last but not least, we'll talk about how a well-equipped strategy covers every aspect not only for video games but also as statistics for future NPR movies. Of course, we want to talk about Spider-Man. With amazing download content to carry on new missions, we see the Marvel's franchise through all video games consoles lead the pointers to yet another Spider-Man movie. But not just any movie. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse will introduce Miles Morales, a young teenage boy who will meet other Spider's heroes from other universes. The artists want to know what do you think about the movie, so they kindly let the social media do its job on Twitter using the hashtag Spider-Verse. This frame already made movie history as cinematography is very clear, readable and exciting. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse has been nominated by a lot of film experts as a quality movie for art direction, plot, and even Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 98% positive review, truly making history for a 3D animated feature-length movie. Even the hashtag SpiderSona started to crawl the web after the first week's premiere of the movie. Why does the color palette seem familiar? Graffiti. Halfton. Oh, worry not, spider people. If you check the movie, the cartoon parts are hilarious. But overall, Miles Morales is presented as a normal kid with normal problems. I guess this is what clicks with the audience. To have someone very human with fears and doubts. This is why I believe this movie will definitely be a winner at the Golden Globes for animation. Because we are transported with the coming of age of the protagonist and his responsibility to assume the role of a hero by defending a city from a catastrophe in the plans of the villains. Art direction in this movie is such delight. If you notice the connection between graffiti and the half-tone dots of a comic page, we can definitely say the pop art culture is present on every frame of the movie. Our team visualized set of brushes to the concept art for the movie. Special rules apply to the movie. For example, motion blur is only applied using RGB channel displacement and all highlights are to be represented white halftones. Soundtrack from this movie is genius, taking you from heroic to funny comedy to suspense. Soundtrack is something I definitely recommend you to listen very closely. I'd also recommend you to take the chance and go see it on 3D. It is a totally well worth entrance to the theater for the experience. Thank you very much. This is a year in review for the NPR Influence in Games and Movies. My name is Pierre Schiller. Don't forget to subscribe, share and visit my blog. And Happy New Year!